Alrighty, got the fist bump, and now we are going to be starting off. I didn't get a chance to see the stage pick, but nope, it doesn't matter. We are getting small battlefield to get us started. So, already got the crafting table out, the minecart going to be coming out to the center of the stage, getting a nice little ladder combo. Snow able to come back underneath this platform. More walls coming out from Syrup as he's just sort of trying to get a little bit of time, some resources. Not going to go for a whole lot more, but Snow pretty quickly able to get through a whole lot of these walls and actually going to back air over the minecart.
Ooh, fair, Mike.
A fair in 30 seconds? Okay, so that is the very first stock gone from Syrup in quite a quick fashion from Snow.
Yeah, and this isn't exactly any aggression, really, that Snow is applying. It's just Mario himself as the character. This is what he's built for, to make those chains, make these quick stocks being taken here. So Syrup is going to have to fight back just a little bit. We've got the wooden tools, though, so really not a lot of damage is going to be applied here. And again, Syrup is just unable to really mind here as we just see Snow applying the pressure constantly and tracing him along. This is a well played from Snow so far.
For sure, coming back in with the Elytra and then able to follow up with the minecart. Syrup trying to go for some back airs above this upper platform. Snow just sort of back airing in place in order to get past the blocks. Going to go off stage for a little bit with the blocks as well in order to gain a bit more space and some resources. The up smash into the magma block is going to take a stock for Syrup. Finding himself at a bit of a deficit though. He really needs to get something going with this ladder combo. Not going to get the stock off of it, but putting a bit of damage onto Snow.
Yeah, still showing signs of life here, Syrup, as he's trying to approach Snow. Again, Snow with the spacing here, getting rid of the blocks and the fireballs. The grabs have also been on point. The pivot grabs, he is just there for it. And especially with this ledge trap game, going to be hugging that ledge and unable to find that up smash. A little bit of a greedy, optimistic option there. However, we still are hanging into this as Syrup is still going to try to even out the percentages right now.
Absolutely, and Syrup off stage has been playing so patiently, stalling the Elytra in order to recover and then air dodging in. Unfortunately, going to get hit with the back throw, finding himself at full rage. Another Elytra, that up air though, coming out from Snow, going to take yet another stock from Syrup.
Yeah, beautiful play right now we have coming out from both of these players here. However, Syrup is going to have put in a little more work as we see Snow throw out so many arrows. Yeah, and there's going to be the punish there with the magma block. And now we finally have time for the diamond tools here. Hopefully here, this could be the turning point for Syrup. Can get some action, but again, Snow has just been on top of his game here. Do we possibly see an up B? No, we're going to go with the dare, and that's going to take the stock.
Absolutely, a 2-stock lead coming out from Snow pretty definitively. I mean, okay, so in review of that game, he got a fair off stage within 30 seconds, and then Syrup was pretty good at being able to make those back. I did like to see some of the patience coming out from Syrup as well, especially when he was stalling off stage, but it was Snow who was really able to bring it back, and he did that with things like up throw and then just able to like carry on with those combos. But going into game number 2, I am hoping to see lots of adaptations.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of grabs from Snow here, and again, just immediately putting Syrup in that corner position. It's just not the spot you want to be at because you're unable to mine, unable to find your footing here. And Snow, again, immediately putting Syrup in the air. Not going to take the stock, though, and sitting pretty at 8% too.
Absolutely, and like you could see that was so quick coming out from Snow, already having Syrup off stage. The TNT coming out as well as the Elytra, and now trying to get a little bit of a ladder combo going for himself. The up B coming out from Snow as well as a response from Syrup, trying to hold the A button in order to get him a little bit of a dog walk. Going to get thrown straight into the block by Snow. The fireballs coming out, the back air over the minecart yet again in order to put the damage directly onto Syrup instead. Syrup off stage putting out some blocks in order to try to get his spacing again. The big up air from Snow, and that up air yet again is going to be what takes the stock.
Yeah, we're seeing some good patience here, some good spacing coming out from Snow here. Again, just so much pressure with these arrows that are coming out to play, but now we're starting to see Syrup get a little bit of the buildings out here in the blocks and the anvils, minecarts. Just trying to mine as much as possible really is going to be the key here for Syrup as he finds slowly momentum, being able to finally take a breather. reset just a little bit, gather some more materials here, but again, Snow is right on the prowl.
I absolutely love the back air that Syrup was able to go for over the empty hop that Snow did in order to recover. So great awareness going into this next stock. We are finding ourselves at a pretty even percentage. Now Syrup trying to get a little bit of spacing for himself, and actually it's not going to be Snow who's able to get the fair, but Syrup finding himself off stage yet again, able to come back to the center of Hollow Bastion. Now going to get a little bit of a ladder combo, the F smash coming out to send Snow to the other side of the stage, going to be jumping over the blocks, not going to contest them, and that's not going to be the stock just yet, but coming back to the upper platform, going to be going straight down into the magma block, the up smash going to be taking that stock.
That was such a great tracing there from Syrup, being able to close out stocks. Now, instead of struggling as we saw for the first game, we're starting to see that adaptation we wanted to see, Pearl. And now here it is, Syrup in his most prime position. Rather, we've got a little bit low on the materials here, but however, we've got the gold sitting there and also diamond tools. So if Syrup can get any extra credit right now, this would be the great position for him. However, Snow is right there to follow along with the up smash now as we're going to our last stocks for both players.
Able to retreat down underneath this crafting table. Syrup is going to be sitting on the other side of the blocks, trying to get his resources up, like you said, Cal. Going to come right off stage. No Elytra in order to get back, in order to come back quickly. Going to actually be able to avoid the minecart. Snow finding himself in a really precarious position, but air dodging down away from the magma block from Syrup. Now Syrup finding himself in a slight juggle situation from Snow, but able to come straight back. The gold tools out in formation.
Yeah, all of these juggles we're seeing come out from Snow have been built to perfection. However, that anvil was also built to perfection, slamming down Snow. And what a beautiful turnaround from Syrup there.
It was absolutely wonderful, because the second that Snow got a little bit greedy and started going for that extra percentage, that was the second that you saw the anvil. So absolutely amazing to see that Syrup really had the foresight in order to say, like, wait a minute, like, I'm going to wait for him to come to me in this second.
Yeah.
And then especially like Mario being the brawler character and him being at a stock deficit, he had to get in. And then the second that he did, Syrup was like, okay, I got time to mine. I can just put an anvil right here. There's your stock gone.
Yeah, again, it's that adaptation you were talking about, previously, Pearl. We're seeing that finally. So now that we're getting to see that come out from Syrup, it's so great that we're going to be potentially seeing a hype set at the very start, as you mentioned, Pearl. This could be it, because now we're seeing a turning point as well. We're seeing Snow light up slowly but surely, going to be able to put on a bit more aggression here.
Absolutely. Coming back for a little bit of the dog walk with the tools. Going to go into a ladder combo and able to avoid the minecart. Snow going to find himself in a precarious position. The magma block not enough to take the stock. Some dirt blocks able to give Syrup a little bit of time. The back air sending Snow way off to the other side of the stage. Yet another back air from Syrup as he's just saying, like, get off me, like, let me mine. And now we see the anvil coming back. Not enough to break the shield as Snow opts to eat the damage instead. Syrup off stage instead. A little bit of the fair coming out from Snow as he's trying to intimidate him. Going to send him far off. Great DI from Syrup.
Yeah, and again, we're seeing these stalling options coming out from Syrup, which I do like to see with the blocks and the anvils being able to control that positioning and the landing here. However, Snow is still not done. He smells that blood and he's out for it, looking to finish off the stock here. Does he find it? There it is with the down tilt back air, and that's just a 1-2 for you for your troubles.
Absolutely going to be Snow getting the very first stock, but in quick succession. No more full rage on the board for Snow. Syrup able to take that pretty quickly. Coming back in now with some diamond tools at his disposal. Yet another back air over the minecart. Snow just sort of jumping over these upper platforms in order to try to avoid the back air, especially with the diamond tools rather from Syrup. Off stage with a little bit of a block, going to try to go for the roll get up, and instead going to eat a good bit of damage there from Syrup. Alrighty, the magma block yet again, just sort of rolling around, and you see Snow doing that quite a few times in order to try to get through the blocks, and he's really good at being able to get the back air over the minecart as well. Syrup going to go for that anvil yet again. The shield's looking so sparse from Snow. Snow getting a little bit of a ladder going for himself. That at Flood going to be trying to stall out the Elytra, and that's not the stock just yet, but at that up smash, that percentage, absolutely, that is going to be the stock to Snow.
Yeah, Snow's going to have to find a little bit more adaptability and creativity with these stocks to be taken, because the fairs are becoming just a little bit stale to be taking the stocks right now. We've got to amplify it here, as we also see Syrup turning up slowly but surely. I mean, still has so much time. It turns around in 4 minutes. Could definitely take this second stock off of Snow here as we got the materials going. There is the back air with the iron. Will take it again as we're back to mining just a little bit to hopefully gain some more materials and more time for the tools there, as we have the golden tools out to play now, so we're going to be a little bit faster with attacking in this corner here. However, Snow knows better than to approach, so he's going to try to do his best to get out of this, but again, Syrup just going to be tracing and following along.
Calavera, we were at an even percentage just a few seconds ago, but it seems that any time that Snow tries to get in order to get the damage, he is getting caught by Syrup at every turn. The blocks and air dodging in and caught between a rock and a hard place. No stock just yet. The up B, though, into the down smash is absolutely going to take yet another game for Syrup.
Wow, this is becoming neck and neck for both of these players. And again, this is the quick adaptation you want to see from players, from your favorite players that you love to watch back at home or even live. This is where it matters so much. And bless the best of 5, because all of the games have been best of 5 today. So it's so nice to have that. We can breathe a little bit. Snow still has one final game here to turn things around as we're sent back to small battlefield here. And so we have to see if there's a different game plan Snow is thinking about, or if he's just going to let Syrup walk all over him and really just take full advantage here with all of the materials that he's going to be able to farm.
It really seems as though anytime that Snow tries to approach, it is really Syrup who has him on the back foot. Going to be going for a whole lot of these back airs and really aerials, going to put him at a pretty high percentage already. Snow, you can see a little bit of this patience coming out, trying to go for the up tilt, getting the back air, the down tilt into the up airs yet again. And that is going to be the first blood of the game, going to go to Snow, finding himself at a pretty high percentage. He's going to want to hold on to this lead as much as possible, Cal.
Yes, Snow suddenly remembered, he's like, oh wait, I'm Mario. I can definitely, oh my god, beautiful air dodge timing on the platform there from Snow. Unable to really find anything though for another chain here, as we see both players just kind of clink a little bit. Syrup finding that stone tools here. Again, just going to be farming materials as much as possible. As we see, that's kind of the key factor moment, what's really been shifting. However, Snow still not done racking up the percentage. Any extra credit here will do it, as we have the TNT placement and the down smash, but no explosion there. Going to be catching Snow, as we still see him trying to hang on to this first stock. 152, unable though.
A back air from Syrup is absolutely going to take his stock. We're already getting the Rube Goldberg machine coming out with the Anvil, going to try to come back in with the Nair, and instead finding himself off stage instead for his troubles. Syrup trying to come underneath these upper platforms. The minecart going to go straight under the block. The up air, though, coming out from Snow as he's trying to get a little bit going for himself. The back throw now. No more crafting table on the stage either. The back air, as well as the flood, not going to be enough to disrupt the Elytra, rather, as Syrup is able to put some blocks up in order to try to protect himself. The minecart coming out in order to disrupt Snow's damage, but it doesn't matter, because recovering high, he was still going straight into Snow to take the stock.
Yeah, that works out so well for Snow there, knowing that that dare is going to send upwards into his favor. And again, because Small Battlefield has these, not so high blast zones there at the top, so it's going to favor him most definitely in this stage. Do we see another one? We see an uppie instead, and it's going to kill Spark. However, Syrup DIing that just in time, hanging on to this last stock, has to make work with it, has to move quickly. No diamond on deck. However, we have a lot of materials to work with here. We've got so much room to work with here. This is so doable for Syrup. Again, just trying to make something happen here. No dice just yet.
No up smash either from Snow, finding himself pretty far off stage as he opts to recover high, going to try to avoid anything and not going to get hit, thanks to him being able to avoid the minecart from Syrup. Sending him way down into the blast zone thanks to the block. He didn't even need to go for that back air. Snow going to be taking game number 4 against Syrup.
And now we are into Game 5 territory. Our second set of the day is going to be Game 5. And this is very exciting as we see both of these players finally ramping it up, catching up to one another, going to last stocks. This is exactly what we want to see, Pearl.
Absolutely. I mean, game number 5, final stocks. We have all the chips on the table.
I'm all in.
We are all in, Cal.
Yeah, nothing ever happens. I'm all in this Game 5 on Hollow Bastion. So we will be having that middle platform. Again, this is exactly what Snow wants. He wants those platforms. He's going to want to be able to trail off and send Syrup upwards. However, Syrup has other plans in mind. He's going to try to go for that horizontal gameplay. Snow, again, negating that completely. Going to be going with these up airs and aerials. However, Syrup's like, I can do that too. I got blocks. I'll build my way up to you.
Absolutely wonderful how he was able to wait for the tech off of the block and then still go for the back air with the wooden tools. No, trying to go fishing and instead going to find himself sent off stage. The Flood coming out to try to disrupt the timing of the Elytra and the back air, able to send Syrup off stage yet again. The Flood and Syrup trying to stall as best as possible. Elytra able to make it back with a neutral getup. Elytra to the center of the stage, going to get met with the up air. More Flood coming out from Snow. This pummel could be big. Full rage on the board for Syrup if he can make it back to try to make something with it, Cal. Going to try to go to the center of the stage, now dropping back down to the platform. The big anvil coming out, and that is in fact going to be the stock for Syrup.
Yeah, and that was such a good lead there for Syrup. Although he's barely clinging on to this first stock, Syrup is throwing all Hail Marys here, 2 up smashes and a back air. Still not going to take this first stock off of Syrup here as we see him sitting comfortably at 170, trying to cling on this ledge here as Snow tries to complete it. There it is, the dare to finally top it off as we finally are now going to reset back to neutral state as both players are now on their second stock.
Coming back over the blocks, it's going to be Syrup who's going to try to dog walk Snow instead. Big anvil coming out that block, going to keep Snow from going too far off stage, trying to get an up air string for himself, and instead it's going to be Syrup who's going to continue piling on this damage. Coming to the other side of the stage, reestablishing neutral, and we get a footstool anvil, taking that stock so quickly. Syrup, barely any damage on him going into this 2-stock lead.
Yeah, this is a beautiful lead right now, exactly where Syrup wants to be comfortably. However, it could be taken away very shortly from Snow if he keeps up with his pressure. No fair follow-up, a little too far away. Again, we find Syrup in the corner, but he's combative. He's fighting back here, trying to get his way in, but again, Syrup is so dominant.
Great tech from Syrup as he was able to recover, going to wait out that up smash from Snow. Very smart move from Syrup, trying to get a little bit of this damage racked up and finding himself off stage. The Mario Nair going to send him even farther, able to battle out some of the fire, coming back to the center of the stage. This big pummel at 164%, way past full rage, and that back air is absolutely going to do it for Snow. We are back to 1 stock apiece.
This is it for this Game 5. Whoever moves on, top 64 by the way, so we're a little covered halfway in that top 128 percentages. However, we're seeing Syrup turn this around with the blockage of the iron. However, the down smash is not still going to take the stock as we see another setup. But again, Snow falling way too short there. And Syrup going for the fist bump to close out the Game 5 winner side against Snow.
Syrup and Snow, what an absolutely phenomenal way to get this block going. I mean, it was so many high pressure situations at the very end. Although, like you mentioned, those sort of checkmate scenarios at the very end of those stocks with the block set up into the down smash really didn't give Snow a place to recover. So the second that he felt a breath of relief for being able to get above the blocks, there was a down smash waiting for him straight from Syrup. And like, oh my god, the adaptation that you saw from Syrup especially, like, it was so amazing because he kept getting caught in a whole lot of Snow's combos going into like game number 1. It didn't feel like a close game. It was very definitively Snow's. And then Syrup saying, okay, well, if I slow it down and I let him come to me, I'm giving myself ample opportunity to gather my resources and then being able to sort of like wait at a 0% and then dog walk him or able to send him into an up air combo, especially with the blocks. Just really awesome stuff from Syrup. And like, it really speaks to the way that he was able to turn that game around for himself. So absolutely beautiful, like, game 5.
That was such a set to watch because, again, as you've already mentioned, the adaptations we saw from Syrup there, Snow that is not that is not an easy like that is something that actually has to be fought for and very well deserved and earned there for Syrup. And again, we just saw so much consistency from Snow during that entire set. So being